Hey, Tyler Sauve here. I want to take a quick moment and talk about how death works and your estate. Okay, so you're going to have various assets when you die, right? You might have assets such as the stock market or mutual funds, real estate, what have you. You're going to have several things that you probably purchased along the way. So that's going to be represented by these blocks. When you die, all of these assets are going to be closed, right? The accounts are going to be closed. All these funds are going to be put into a giant pile. This pile is called your estate. Okay. In a perfect world, everything from your estate would then be transferred to a little piece of paper, which is going to give directions on how you want these assets distributed amongst your loved ones. So from your will, you're going to be distributing all that money to your loved ones. But as we know, we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world of monsters. And unfortunately, there's three of these monsters. I'm going to call them vultures that are going to come and they're going to attack your estate before your money goes to the will. I know this is very dramatic, but I'm trying to make a very boring subject as interesting as possible. These three vultures are taxes, probate fees, and creditors. Okay. So these three vultures need to be fed before the money is going to go to your will and be distributed to your loved ones. In Canada, one thing that is nice about this country is that if your estate is only yay big, but the money that you owe to those three vultures is greater than your estate, the good news is, yes, your estate can claim bankruptcy, which means the vultures are going to leave hungry. Taxes is just going to fly away. Probate is just going to fly away. The creditors, however, not quite. They're not going to get distracted quite as easy as the other two vultures. The creditor, he's going to come down here and he's going to try to see if anything is trying to sneak past the estate, because there are products that bypass the estate. Okay. And they're just going to go straight over here. One of these products is life insurance. Okay. So you're going to name a beneficiary for your life insurance product. If your estate is big enough to pay the three vultures, you don't need to worry about this part. But if it is not, and your estate has claimed bankruptcy, the taxes, the probate fees, they're leaving. The creditors, they're going to come and they're going to take a look at your life insurance product to see whether it is creditor protected. Okay, so the life insurance product always bypasses the state as long as there's a beneficiary that is named, but it isn't always creditor protected. In order to make it creditor protected, we're going to give these beneficiaries a little self-defense weapon, right? Looks like this, maybe like a baton or a nightstick, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So right here is the life insured on the policy. Okay. So as you know, or might not know, the rules of the policy, you have the insurer, also known as the insurance company. You also have the insured, also known as the policy holder / owner, formerly known as Prince, no, formerly the applicant. If I can spell applicant, there we go. Formerly the applicant. You also might have the life insured. If it is a third-party contract, the insured and the life insured are two different people. If it's a two-party contract, then they are the same person. For example, if I buy life insurance on my life, it's a two-party contract. If I buy life insurance on my wife's life, I'm paying the premium, but I'm not the life insured. My wife is. That is a third-party contract. Then, of course, the other role is the beneficiary, right? But remember, the beneficiary is named in the policy, but they're not actually a member of the policy, right? You don't have to ask for someone's permission to have them be the beneficiary of a life insurance policy, where you do need to ask their permission to insure their life. So it is the life insured that fits in the middle of this little baton, this nightstick here. One step up, if you're thinking generationally, one generation up, these are your parents, okay? If you name your parents as the beneficiary of a life insurance product, it's creditor protected. Beside you, through life's trials and tribulation, is your spouse. In Canada, it must be a singular spouse, right? Monogamous relationships only. If you are in a polyamorous or polygamous relationship, the government does not recognize this. One spouse only. Going 2 generations down, as you see the stick of the baton, whatever, goes a little bit further. So kids and grandkids are added on there, okay? So they can use this little nightstick to fight off the creditors, making it creditor protected. If you've named your parent, spouse, kids, or grandkids, these are your preferred beneficiaries. Okay? If you wanted to name somebody, say your uncle, your aunt, your niece, your nephew, your favorite LQP instructor as the beneficiary, right? There is a way to make them creditor protected. So there are two types of beneficiaries. There is revocable, right? And if a revocable beneficiary is named that is a parent, spouse, kid, or grandkid, it's creditor protected, or any irrevocable beneficiary also gives creditor protection. So the plus is that there's creditor protection. The downside, right, is that if you name an irrevocable beneficiary, you need their written consent in order to change it, okay? So if the beneficiary has is a preferred beneficiary, parent, spouse, kids, or grandkids, it's creditor protected. Or if it's irrevocable, but keep in mind the downside of irrevocable, you need the written consent in order to change it. And now you've got that creditor protection in there as well. Another thing worth mentioning really quickly here is that your estate is slow processing, right? For example, dealing with the taxes need to be filed. That's not a quick process. The other one is that it is public, right? It is of public record, meaning other people can go and look at it. If you want to transfer money to someone privately, right? I can send you my full name, address, email. Just kidding. If you're wanting to send it to anybody that you just don't want it to be public, this can be for many reasons. Maybe you want to donate it to a church or a religious organization that might cause problems in your family. Maybe you have an illegitimate spouse or partner that you want to leave something to because you love them, but you don't want anybody else to know about them. Maybe. Or maybe you have an illegitimate child that you want to leave money to. Who knows? There's lots of reasons where there's value to it being a private transaction, okay? And the fact that you're avoiding the estate. So the taxes, the probate, and the creditors, there's another perk as well. So down here, it is quick and it is private. Hopefully that kind of helps and summarizes that for you. All right, and we'll talk to you later.